So now you know the next franchise I'm going to rank is Mega Man, but the question you're all probably asking is, which Mega Man? My answer? All of them. That's right, Classic X, Zero, Network, Legends, ZX, and Star Force are all going to be featured in this countdown. But it's going to be handled in a very particular manner. To do this right, I've decided to rank each sub-series one at a time, starting with the classic Mega Man games and ending with Star Force. So each video will be focused on one of the sub-series, rather than just one game. It'll speed things up, trust me. If you'd like, I could even share my opinions on the spin-offs and remakes. I may even take a look at Mighty No. 9. There's a challenge. Which comes first, Mighty No. 9 or the end of my Mega Man Worst2Best segment? My money's on Mighty No. 9. So first up is the classic Mega Man series, and I'll be looking at all 11 titles. These are all the titles with the Robot Masters, Dr. Wily Fortresses, and 8-bit love. These games are much simpler to digest than a Metroid game, but also a lot harder to judge since these 11 tend to bleed together in some aspects. For the sake of repetition, I'll condense my thoughts on each one. You want something meatier, check out Some Call Me Johnny's retrospective. For now, let's get down to business. As soon as I started this list, I almost forgot about this title. Heck, I almost want to consider it a spin-off and save my bow for later, but alas, that's not the case. Unfortunately, I played the GBA version off the Wii U's eShop, and wow, were the Mega Man fans not joking about that screen crunch. Everything seems so tight, a majority of your jumps are just leaps of faith. Calling Mega Man and Bass a Mega Man game is laughable to me. Sure, Mega Man is playable for all you sadists out there, but the game in its entirety, and I'm talking bosses, levels, and overall difficulty, revolve around Bass and his double jump. Sure, Bass doesn't have a charge shot like Mega Man, but firing in multiple directions greatly compensates for that. Take Cold Man here. This cloud that renders me helpless as Mega Man is merely a mild annoyance when playing as Bass. Maybe judging it as the worst is unfair since I have yet to play the Super Famicom version, but I really don't think the lackluster soundtrack and nail-peeling stage hazards are that much better on the Super Famicom. Aside from Mega Man and Bass, Mega Man 4 was the only other Mega Man game that felt meh to me. I only liked 2 of the Robot Masters for starters, and when looking at the big picture, Mega Man 4 did nothing to really stand out from the massive crowd. Okay, it adds the Mega Buster, but it also adds the likes of Dustman and Toadman. Very few of the powers you obtain from your foes felt necessary, with the rest only being used towards a specific Robot Master. I mean, what should I really be praising here? The intro, which seems best suited for Mega Man 1 or even 2? Yeah, all the other Mega Man games just offer more for me personally. Not long after Mega Man's retro revival with Mega Man 9, Capcom decided to produce another game starring the Blue Bomber in his trademark 8-bit routine. In 2010, Capcom released Mega Man 10. So did lightning strike twice for Little Boy Blue? Not really. Mega Man 10 is a fine game, but aside from being able to play as Proto Man, and not just as downloadable content mind you, Mega Man 10 doesn't bring much new to the table. How are the stages? They're alright. How are the Robot Masters? They're alright. And how's the music? You guessed it, it's alright. But maybe the gameplay itself is more meaty. I mean, how does Mega Man control? Wait, where the hell is my slide and charge shot? Oh, you gave them to the glass cannon. Lovely. Mega Man 10. It's alright. The Blue Bomber's first debut may not have taken my heart by storm, but it was a fun and challenging experience nonetheless. Maybe it's just memories of the bullshitters that has this entry ranked above the other 3. But I truly believe the simplicity and focus of the original Mega Man plays to its advantage. From the enjoyment of using Electman's weapon to obliterate Iceman's entire stage, to the irritation one has at the very beginning of Gutsman's stage, I always find myself coming back to the first Mega Man a lot more than I'd like to admit. Look, they tried here. They really did. Regardless, something about Mega Man 8 is just shy of meh material. I mean, let's get the obvious out of the way. The voice work is atrocious. There's few that are putting in some effort here, and then there's Dr. Light, who sounds like one of the dub team's dad just wandered into the studio, picked up the script and started reading. Dr. Wowie. E-tanks are given the boot here, but that wouldn't be a problem if these levels didn't drag already. Each stage is divided into 2 fairly large sections, and if you goof and get sent back to the menu screen, you kinda lose the ambition to press onwards. Also, though the music isn't terrible, it's definitely underwhelming. If you ask me, softcore music isn't Mega Man's specialty. To conclude, Mega Man 8 looks nice, but aside from Tengu Man, it just leaves me yearning for the next few Mega Man games. Okay, so it's not that much better than Mega Man 8, but hey, no horrid voice acting while maintaining E-Tanks is a plus in my book. Also, I like how inventive some of these levels can get. They do their best to stand out from the crowd, especially Gravity Man. Yeah, Super Mario Galaxy doesn't look so hot now, does it? Just kidding, of course it does. Still, Mega Man 5 at least has memorability going for it, which is more than I can say when compared to Mega Man 10 and Mega Man 4. Also, there's a nice flow with the difficulty. All aboard the fun train, choo-choo! Mega Man 2. What? You didn't put Mega Man 2 at number 1? First you neglect Symphony of the Night in your top 10 Castlevania tracks, and now you neglect Mega Man 2 of its rightful place? Well yeah, but calm down and hear me out. I'm not neglecting Mega Man 2, I just found the following games in this list to offer more to the table. Mega Man 2 has a great soundtrack, a couple stages that many would consider classics, and I'd be a fool to disagree. The metal blades are an amazing weapon to have, and overall, it's definitely the one that caused the series to become so iconic, much more than the original. That being said, this entry does have a few grievances that many people overlook. First, Mega Man 2 gets a little obnoxious with its enemy placement. Second, I'm a big fan of Mega Man's slide technique. I'm more of an X kind of guy, and future videos will emphasize on this, so moves like the dash, or in this case the slide, are a key part of my Mega Man playing tactics. Third, both Crash Man's and Heat Man's stages make me want to puke. Personal tastes are a bitch, I swear. Finally, aside from the metal blades, how many times do you guys find use with these other weapons outside of situational instances? All I'm saying is, I love Mega Man 2, but I feel the next games took what worked here and emphasized on it, and it's those very games that I show more affection towards. Mega Man 9. Hell yeah! What a wonderful continuation to the classic series. 10 years after Mega Man 8, it was wonderful for Capcom to bring everything back to basics with this nostalgia bomb that is Mega Man 9. This game not only takes us back to our NES Mega Man roots, but damn near perfects it. The best weapons, the best music, the best robot masters, even a female, the best level structure, Mega Man 9 has the makings of being the best in the series. Well, almost. First off is the obsession with Mega Man 2. Without rhyme or reason, both the Mega Buster and the slide have been removed, and it's beyond awkward. Sure, the levels don't require the slide, but the only reason they're removed is to keep Mega Man back to his physics in 2. What the hell makes 2 so special that we have to backtrack? Makes no sense. Speaking of 2, the enemy placement is obnoxious again. No sooner do you plop them off screen do they come right back on, and this annoyance seemed toned down in a plethora of other Mega Man games. But here it is again. Did you enjoy that mini-boss? Why not face it 2 more times in the next 2 rooms? Finally, you can play as Proto Man, but oops, he's DLC. In fact, why is there DLC in a classic 8-bit game? Ugh. So yeah, Mega Man 9 could have easily been the best of the series, but when it comes to greediness and an obsession with Mega Man 2, you end up losing the gold, silver, and bronze in my book. When you hear this song kick on, you know you're about to play one of the best classic Mega Man games. Oh yeah, baby, Mega Man 3! For the longest time, this was my favorite of the entire series. It had everything I wanted from the Blue Bomber and more. Awesome soundtrack, the best robot masters, well mostly. The first appearance of the slide, woo! The introduction of Break Man. Its enemy placement was toned down from 1 and 2, making the experience all around enjoyable. What could go wrong? Oh yeah, it's the Doc Robot stages. It's hard to grant this game the gold when it has this much padding. If it weren't for this bit, Mega Man 3 would still be my absolute favorite, but now there's 2 more that I find to be better. Now, I'm not sure if it was the Game Grumps, Some Call Me Johnny, or just my own personal experience that did this, but Mega Man 7 is one of the best Mega Man games out there. And it all comes down to one thing. Presentation! Despite the music not being as intense as a majority of the 8-bit beats, Mega Man 7 still offers a great soundtrack. On top of this, Mega Man's controls are so crisp, making the game a decent challenge, but rarely does it become obnoxious like its predecessors. The weapons you get are a blast to use, and something about that robot museum hits the right notes of nostalgia. It introduces the badass bass and perfectly upgrades the classic series to 16 bits. Mega Man 7 is one of the finest titles, even though the Robot Masters suffer from staggers now. This is going to be hard to explain, but Mega Man 6 is my absolute favorite classic Mega Man game, and it all boils down to personal preference. It does everything right in my book. For starters, I love how each of the Robot Masters represent a piece of world culture, and their levels complement this exceptionally well. Second, I adore this soundtrack. All of these songs are a marvel to listen to, and I have no idea why this soundtrack doesn't buzz around as much as the others. Tomahawk Man and Yamato Man are some of the best 8-bit songs to grace my ears. Finally, those rush powers atop the Robot Master weapons really add a layer to the game that the others didn't seem to capture. Yeah, the story here is kinda silly, but I never considered any of the others to have a miraculous narrative either. It's a shame this came out so late in the NES era, because I truly believe it's the strongest of the classic Mega Man games. But nothing is as intense as the X series. Next time, we're taking things to the next level with Mega Man X.